Hi, this is Amber Laura. This is my process speech, and here's my audience. Aren't they lovely? All right. Today I'm going to show you how to make beer bread. It's a simple but delicious recipe that will knock the socks off of everybody you serve it to. It looks and tastes complicated, but takes less than an hour to make and even less than that to enjoy. I have friends who demand that I bring it to parties, and if I don't bring it, then my invitation is revoked. I have one friend who takes the bread to work, and he takes the leftover bread to work, and if he doesn't show up with it, people start to complain. The year I lived out of state, I had a lot of people who I've never met complain that they missed their autumn dose of beer bread. First, you want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees. You want to make sure it's nice and hot because it doesn't take that long to prepare the loaf pans. Next, you want to gather your ingredients. First, you need 3 cups of self-rising flour. That's 2, I have to make. Half a cup of granulated sugar. That's way more than half a cup. Still way more than half a cup. And there's half a cup. And you want to mix that together. Next, you take a stick of butter and you put it in a drinking glass. Clear glass is best, don't use plastic. It's icky. Put it in the microwave for anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds, depending on the power of your microwave. You want it as high as possible. When the butter's melted, if it melts entirely the first time, you're lucky. If it doesn't, just keep going till it is melted. While that's going on, open your beer, try not to drink it. Add the warm beer to the flour and mix that up. Make sure it's gradual and it gets all the flour wet. Mix it up. It's going to be tough. It's a really sticky, thick dough. And you want to get down in there, get the flour all wet. Don't use beaters because it'll clog up your mixer and you'll have to buy a new one. Pretty easy. Now, you want to grease your bread pans. You can either use butter, real butter, or cooking spray. I always use real butter in all my baking, because margarine is 2 molecules away from car wax. You don't want car wax in your food. So, if you use real butter, take your stick, make sure you get the bottom of the pan thoroughly coated, including the corners. And if you use cooking spray, make sure you put a light layer all over the pan. Now, your butter's melted, your pan is ready. Pour the dough into the pan. This is easier, usually. I have a pan or a bowl that has handles. When that's done, make sure your dough is spread all the way into the corners of the pan. Now that dough is really sticky, really stiff. It's hard to mix, and you want to avoid touching it as much as possible, otherwise it's going to burn. Pour your butter over the beer bread. And I'm completely Place it in the oven for 45 minutes. It's best when served warm, and if you're planning on transporting it anywhere, wrap it up in foil and it will keep warm for a very long time. Some additional advice before you enjoy the fruits of your fresh baked labor. If you want it to be sweeter, you can add cinnamon, spices like cinnamon or nutmeg, which I usually do in the fall. That's also when I use a darker beer like Killian's Irish Red. If you want to make it more savory, you can add rosemary that complements like a winter soup, and you can use a paler ale like Rolling Rock. Today I used Coors Light because I found that gives it the best flavor. It's very hard to make a mistake during this. I'm not sure giving a speech. Have fun and have fun with it, play with it, enjoy it, like I'm gonna do right now. And